Okay. How are you today? My name is Praise for Warware, and it's so good to be back again. Okay, you know how we do it. This is our show, PFthinks, every morning. It's 3 a.m. already. So I come live every 3 a.m. to do PFthinks. This is episode 23. 22. So we started 22 days ago, and we're going to 365, days. And I'm so excited, at how far we've gone. For some time, we've been talking about superior relationship skills. We've talked about the 8 lines of work, and like I rightly mentioned, if you can get the resources, you please go ahead and ensure that you get them. It's on Amazon. The 8 lines of work. That's my material on this. And please, if you can go on YouTube, if you have missed the past 21 days, please, it's available on my page at Praise for Over Life, on my YouTube account. Now, today, what are we talking about? So far, we've looked at about 6 lines. Yeah, so we've got 2 left. We've looked at your upline, your relationship with your upline, which is your boss, the people that you look up to, your mentors, your role model. We've looked at your relationship with your downline, which is your relationship with your subordinates. We've looked at your peer line, which is your relationship with your colleagues. We've looked at the real line, your relationship with the customer. We've looked at the outline, your relationship with the competitors. And yesterday, we looked at your landline, your relationship with organizational policy. Today, we look at the inline, which is your relationship with yourself. It's amazing how people lose themselves and how people go through life without living. I consistently marvel at how people can live up to 50, 60 and they still haven't found themselves. If this has become a recurring decimal, we need to begin to find out what exactly is going on with us. Now, I have said whenever I teach on parenting, there's something I created, the quadrants of parenting. The concept of the seed owner, which is God, the seed, which is the child, the seed handler, which is the parents, and the seed environment. That in the parenting quadrant, the most critical problem of the seed, of the child, is the seed handler. So oftentimes, many of us came in here as genius, the genie in us, but we were made normal by the adults in our lives who were themselves made normal by the adults in their lives. So it's almost as if a baton is handed over that your extraordinary nature must be made normal, that you become domesticated, that you lose yourself. So if you see the way a lot of parents relate with their children, consistently they shut down their children, they want their children, they try to caution them, they try to put restrictions around them, they bully them, they talk down on them, because the power that you have to become authentic has been taken away from you. And that's why consistently people look outside of themselves to find happiness. They are looking for someone to bail them out. They're looking for that man somewhere. And consistently when people talk, you could literally say that what they are saying has not been researched by themselves. What they are saying was what someone else told them consistently, right? So people don't have a thought of their own that is original. People don't question what they've been told, provided the person that told them is a respected figure. So truth is no longer truth. Truth is dependent on who says it. Now, if you do not have yourself, how do you render exceptional service to your world? So a lot of people manifest pseudo personality, right? There's an exercise I ask people to do in all my sessions. I ask them to pause and then praise themselves for 5 minutes. The rule is they must not quote any scripture, whether Quran or Bible, and they must not repeat the same words twice. I have never met anyone who was able to do it successfully. The only group that are able to do it successfully are the old women and the old men, because those ones, they just start what they call oriki. They just start to do self-adulation. But our generation have lost touch, so it's so easy to quote King David. It's so easy to quote Apostle Paul. It's so easy to quote from the Holy Quran, but you were not there when David said what he said. What David said was a product of an experience, a product of meditation. So it would naturally work for David. Many of us struggle for it to work with us, for us, which is why every time you read something in any holy book and you can't measure it in your life because it can be spooky, then the problem is not with what was written. The problem is with your interpretation of what was written. So one of the greatest challenges that people have is even the power to focus. If you ask an average human being to focus their mind for 5 minutes without their mind wandering, it's almost as if you're going to kill them. They can't do it, right? So if you can't focus your mind, it means you have not been having, a personal me time with yourself. So why won't things go wrong with you? So I always say to people who have not learned how to focus on themselves, when they complain about other people, I tell them to shut up and go into their closet, because there is no way everything won't go against you when you have not mastered yourself, because you are going to interpret people wrongly. You are going to think people are against you. You will lack empathy. Your life will be judgment based. You will be living at the realm of right and wrong. So you will become L accreditation officer, Holy Ghost policeman. You begin to look at right and wrong. Even your children, you tell them, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. You will begin to manufacture your own 100 commandments, more than 10 commandments. It won't be up. So for everything that happens, instead of you to approach it from a standpoint of curiosity and seek to understand what was happening and seek to now arrive at a reasonable decision, once you see it and it violates your right and wrong, then you say, don't do it, don't do this again, I give you law. Then you threaten your children. Listen to me. You were messed up in your mind. And that's why a lot of us, especially for those of you above 30, that you will revert back to yourself. It's almost a tall order, because the people that messed with your mind, they did a good job, right? So you don't even know what is truth anymore, right? You just, I always say to people, your belief is not the truth. Your belief is what you have accepted to be true, right? Which is why if you were born in Kuwait, your name would not have been your name. Your beliefs would not have been your belief. As a matter of fact, you'll be willing to die for what you believe in Kuwait. You would have been totally different from who you are right now. So I'm cautious when people say, this is the best version of me. It's not correct. This is the best version of you that your environment, your upbringing, and your experience in life has produced in you. You need to accept that, which is why you now need to begin to uninstall your self-sabotaging pattern. A lot of us are fearful. A lot of us don't even know what we want in life. A lot of us are confused. We don't know what to do to make money. We don't know what to do with our lives. Every time they say, oh, there is something there, you run there. There's something here, you run there. You have no direction. It's not because you are bad. It's because you have been totally messed up at the realm of your mind. So what I say to people is, I always say to people, there was a time in my life I trashed everything I've been taught. I had to sit down in my study and I said to God, I want to find you by myself. So I am going to collapse everything I've been taught. So I pushed it aside and I began to find God by myself. So what we have been told is you cannot question God. I started questioning God. I started questioning everything I believed. Guess what? I became better. It was then I now realized that there's an adage in the Jewish tradition that says the more you question God, the more of him you find. But people will tell you, unquestionable, you are the Lord. Yes, the same God said, come, let us reason together, right? So there are songs that have been created that does not align with who we are. Many of the songs we sing are emotional songs. It doesn't affirm who you are. It doesn't promote your wellness. It doesn't promote your identity, because you don't even know what your identity is. So when people say you are stupid, you get upset. When people say you are foolish, you become defensive. When people question you, they are asking questions human beings should ask. You become very upset and defensive. Why? Because you are afraid of your shadow. You are afraid of being confronted with what you are running away from. Many of us are running away from ourselves, and that's why you hide under degree, you hide under people, you hide under accolade, you want respect by all means. Let me tell you, people are truly powerful. Don't look for respect. They have earned their respect, right? So people who are truly powerful don't try to kill other people with a sledgehammer. No, they become meek because they say, what I can do in my power, I refuse to do it in my wisdom. This is called control strength, right? So when you see someone who brag, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to do you, the person has no power. So guys, until you connect effectively with yourself, you can't relate with others. A lot of us can't sustain relationship. a lot of us can't relate effectively with others because we lack a personal relationship with ourselves. I always say to people, until you have asked yourself out, you are not qualified to ask anybody out or to be asked out, because you are going to damage your partner, because your own esteem is going to be dependent on them. You are not going to have a life outside of your partner, so you are going to choke them with your life because you always feel you have been told, you have been brainwashed to believe you must do everything together, so they can't even have a breathing space. You want to know everything about, because you have no life. So guys, if you wear the product you are offering, will you buy yourself? Let's assume that you go window shopping and you find yourself on the show glass, on the showroom. Will you buy yourself, right? A good you will naturally treat others well, and if you don't treat yourself right, others can't treat you right. A lot of us can't treat ourselves right because we have become the sacrificial lamb for other people. So we slave for other people, we make sacrifice. Even when you have money, you can't take yourself out because that's when your brain tells you, somebody may be dying somewhere, so you deprive yourself, you don't have blood, and you're trying to donate blood. Now, if you don't begin to self-nurture, you realize that your immune system becomes low because you can't appreciate, you can't celebrate, you don't value yourself. Your immune system will be low and you'll be susceptible to all kinds of ailments. Now, which is why disease is called dis-ease, which means you have been unsettled within you, right? You can't love people more than you love yourself. Now, question is, how much of yourself do you know? How much of yourself do you know? Because you are the ultimate product. You are the company that people meet, right? People don't have to meet your MD. You are the company they know. And your character is how they will rate your organization. The question is, if your organization is going to be rated by your personality, will your organization make it to the top? Now, there are 4 stages in life that every human being needs to understand. The first stage is domestication. That's the world around us, okay? That's the world around us. At the level of domestication, everyone is at the same level. I can tell you 82% of the people on this planet live at the realm of domestication. It's a level of rights and wrong, rules and regulation. So they have set some people as authority figure over their lives. And so when you hear the things being said about Bill Gates, you want to ask yourself, how powerful can this man be, who has no army, who has never contested any election, who has never won any election, who doesn't have any constitutional right, but people have arrogated power because they believe because he has money, then he must be very, very, influential around the world, and he must determine everything that happens. But the richest man in your village has not determined what's happening in your state, right? At the level of the world around us, many of us don't aspire, we don't question what we believe, we don't question authority figures because you are afraid. In your brain, your frontal cortex has been shut down, so you can't think. Once the wand of religion is activated, your brain goes down, you can't question anything. Even if they slap you, you will make excuses and say it's Holy Ghost slap, right? If they beat you, if the person you respect becomes angry, you will say it's holy anger. Now your husband or your wife does the same thing, you are upset with them, something happened, someone called me, one of the people I respect so much, and I respect him so much, and he said to me, 4 years ago, Praise, I brought you to come and address all my leaders. And you correctly predicted what is happening right now, that the whole world is going to change. He said the only reason we did not follow up was the fact that you did not say God says the Lord, and you did not speak in tongues, right? He said you just said it casually. People know me that you hardly hear me say God said, because I don't have to say God said for you to believe me, because except I want to manipulate you. So a whole lot of us, at the level of domestication, you live at the realm of the rules set by other people. Some of them, you don't even know the rules that they set for you. You live by what your parents taught you, what they told you, even when it's not correct. You carry. There are so many ladies who are single because their mother told them you must marry from a particular region. These people, don't marry Igbo, don't marry Yoruba, don't marry Oyinbo, don't marry this person. And you are asking, what have they done? Your mother has no answer, because that was what she was also told, right? So in the world around us, people have no goals. They live life as it comes. So that's why Ember Month is heavy in Africa. So at the level of domestication, people believe what has not been researched. They believe a rumor. I was having a discussion with someone 2 days ago, and the person argued with me and told me that everything in Google is right, that they must have verified it, they must have troubleshot it, that everything there is accurate. So no wonder people go there and pick all kinds of stories that doesn't even make sense, right? And they begin to flaunt it. So someone said on my Facebook page that Bill Gates is producing a vaccine. Once you take the vaccine, it will begin to remote control your mind, and they will capture you, So your mind becomes a toy in his hand. So he can sit in his sitting room. This is an adult who went to school, who is a graduate, believing what my little baby will not believe. Right? It's laughable, but people don't have capacity to think at the level of domestication. Once someone said it, truth is not truth. Truth is dependent on who says it at the level of domestication. But the next level is the level of awareness. That is the world you choose. Now, the first level is the world around us. The world you choose is awareness. At the level of awareness, you begin to set goals. You begin to question things. Now, the people who have set themselves as authority figure over you, because many of them don't want to lose you. Now, I'm not saying be rude, right? You must honor people, authority figures, right? But because many of them don't want to lose you, guess what? They begin to bully you. You are being called a rebel. When you begin to question, common sense things, the kingdom belongs to a trespasser. A trespasser is often a rule breaker. At the level of awareness, you begin to set goals for yourself. To say, I am not comfortable where I am. I want to leave this place. I want to move to another place. I want to have my own car. I want to live my own life. I want to live life on my own terms. People will call you names. They will say you are too money conscious. Meanwhile, they like money. They will try to blackmail. You know why they're doing? They cannot afford for you to live the level of domestication. Even the people that you used to be at the level of domestication, they will begin to call you proud. What they are saying is, you are living the mediocrity. You are transiting to excellence. We will not allow you. We almost die in mediocrity. At the level of awareness, you are setting goals. You are asking questions. You believe that you deserve a better life. You are beginning to question what your parents have said. You begin to question what the authority figures in your life have said. You begin to hold on to that which makes common sense and ask proven result. Then you begin to trash the one that has not served you, that has not produced the result you want. You begin to be scientific. You begin to use data to say this thing that has been said has not produced result in my life. Why should I hold on to it? You begin to observe around you and you begin to see people who are producing result, and you are going after them to find out the techniques they are using to produce result, and you bring it into your life. It begins to produce for you. That is level 2. But level 2 is not where you should stay. There's a level 3 called recreation. At the level of recreation, you no longer live in the world around us. You no longer live at the realm of the world you choose. You live from within to outside. It's called the world within us. There are people who live at that level, the world within, where you live from within to outside. You no longer live by what the ordinary eye sees. That's the level of invention and innovation, where you begin to see things in your mind to say, wow, I want this kind of house, right? I want this kind of life. This is what I'm seeing within me. So that's the level called revelation, where you begin to birth solution. You begin to question things. You begin to create new concepts, new studies, new schools of thought. That's a level I enjoy so much. Created all kinds of content, all kinds of solution. That's a level where, you ask questions and the divine power supply the answer. I was having a running battle with my media person the other day. I saw something on YouTube and I sent it to the person. I said, I believe you should be able to do this. So she says to me, this is very tough. It's very expensive. So she went to ask someone and the person told her, this thing is expensive. For every picture, it's $12. So she came back to me and called me and said to me, they said it's $12 per picture. I said, no. If it's $12 per picture, then this person that have done this demo should never be able to afford it, right? Go and research. And if it doesn't exist, create it. If it's $12 per picture, then it means there's a business sense there. Then we can create it and begin to sell to others, right? So as I left her, right, she dropped the call, I began to think. And usually when I'm troubled, I speak to my mind because I trust my mind to be able to supply the answers. I began to speak to my mind to say, there must be a way out. How is this thing done? Guess what? Yesterday, one of my friends who just started his YouTube page, uploaded exactly the same thing. So I said, how did you do it? He said, there's a website that you can do a 14-day trial and it's free. After 14 days, it's $300 per year, right? I went on the website. It's a website where you drop your text and artificial intelligence will match with picture for you. You can add music. So I went online, did it myself. In 10 minutes, I had produced the result. So I had to call this person to say, can you see? This thing is possible, but when you shut your mind, even God cannot reach you and innovation cannot flow through you. Impossibility is nothing. At the level of awareness, at the level of recreation, you now begin to recreate your world. You are living life on your own terms. That's the level people who try to keep you down at the level of domestication are, right? At that level, you are now on the same platform with them. People begin to wonder, what kind of human being is this, right? They will hate you, but they can't controvert your result. Right? They will dislike you. They will think you are rude to their leaders because you are authentic. A lot of people can't pass that test because we love to cower. I mean, I sat with someone, and I saw everyone was shaking around him. And I asked a simple question. Is this how his children shake around him? Then everybody was looking at me. I said, I'm not going to shake because my father did not raise me to be afraid of a man to the level I begin to shake. It's not an oracle. I was in another meeting and someone said, all of you who don't sleep at 2 a.m., you are lazy. Something is wrong with you. That's the time witches gather and witches go to coven. So I raised my hand and I asked a question human beings should ask. Sir, 2 a.m. of which of the time zones? Is it Pacific? Is it GMT? Is it West African? Which of the 2 a.m.? Then he was looking at me because it's never talked about it, right? So a lot of us just take things because someone said it and you subject yourself to all kinds of torture. Because I am not saying witches don't exist, but I have not gone to their meeting. I don't know where they meet. I mean, they say they meet in darkness. If they meet in darkness, then let us install street lights and lit up everywhere. If there's lights everywhere, where would they meet, right? So people... it's like saying I am afraid that the lion is killing the antelope in the jungle. I am not in the jungle. They are killing them. I am not aware, right? So I love the way PD puts it. The Jalabi, he said that the whites have converted their witches to cartoon characters. So people are no longer afraid, right? So but we are so heavy on what we don't understand in Africa because we are afraid of the unknown. The typical African man which is why they never plan for 25 years, they never plan for 30 years. Our plan is 12 months. That's why we are heavy on New Year, what do you call it now? Declaration, right? Which cannot be measured, right? So we just love to declare it at the end of December. We won't measure. How did we accomplish it, right? Yet, the king of Dubai has a 100-year plan. Japan has 300-year plan, right? So if you go right now and Google what will happen in the year 2070, information is already there. The car you will drive in 2070 is already there. Who are these people, right? And when you get to 2070, where will they be? So at the level of recreation, you begin to get to the level where you determine what happens. You are no longer living based on what people say to you. You are living based on, what you now believe within you, what you see within you. Because there are some instructions that even the people you respect are biased about. They have no capacity to process it, right? So you need to understand, right, that you have to wake up, right, and recreate your life at this level or this third level. What people at this level do is they do a lot of meditation and visualization. They do a lot of meditation and visualization. Meditation is you get within you and you begin to download revelation that the world has never seen before. You become a custodian that God passes his innovation through because you can see what the ordinary eyes cannot see. So when people say, oh, it's COVID-19, everybody is afraid, you are seeing the business in COVID-19, you are seeing the opportunities in COVID-19, you begin to see what ordinary eyes cannot see. You begin to write books in your mind, you begin to innovate in your mind. Why? Because you have quietened the noise. At the third level, the noise around you no longer affects you because you are quiet within you. So you can hear the voice of the divine speak to you. But that's not the level you should stay. There's a fourth level. Very few human beings get there, right? That's the level of freedom. That's the world you can change. At the level of freedom, you are no longer bothered about what you eat, what to feed. You are no longer even bothered. At that level, you are like God. That's the level that Bill Gates is, which is why people believe maybe it's Antichrist. He has transited these 3 levels. He's at the level of freedom where he's now thinking of the world I can change, right? Let us go stop polio in Africa, right? The people who were feeding fat on polio, right? The people who tabernacle and build, ministries around polio can never love what he has done, right? Because this guy showed that money can solve this problem, but it's been there all the while, nobody solved it, right? That's the level of freedom, the world you can change. At that level, you can decide to wake up and say, I'm an American, I'm going to Africa to go and stop malaria. I'm going to go and give free education to people in Somalia, right? That's the world of freedom. That's the world you can change. Why? Which is why, if you have played Cashflow 101 before, they say in that game, you are not qualified to pursue your dream until you have left the level of rat race. A lot of us have not left rat race. We are now trying to set the world free. What will happen is you are like a man fetching water from a well with a bucket that is bigger than you. Very soon, the well is going to fetch you, right? So you need to understand these 4 stages and move from domestication, the world around us, to the level of awareness, where you begin to question things. That's the world you can choose. You set goals there. To the level of meditation, which is recreation, the world within us. To the level of freedom, the world we can change. A young man said to me, Mr. Praise, how do we create a new Nigeria? I told the young man, you have not left rat race. Go and leave rat race first. Stop talking about how to change Nigeria. You are not qualified to be having that discussion, because during the next election, you don't have 1.5 billion to donate, right? So go and sort your personal economy and set yourself free, okay? Go and seek first the kingdom so that every other thing can be added to you, right? So guys, I've lost my Instagram audience, right? But I'll continue with Facebook audience. Now, so you need to understand that at the level of inline, you just need to know yourself. Know yourself. K is know yourself. Be kind to yourself, right? N is nurture yourself against all odds. O, be original. Don't sacrifice your originality for anyone, no matter who the person is. Don't become another person. Don't become an introvert because your leader is an introvert. No, people, I suffered terribly as an extrovert because it was believed in several circles that extroverts are not spiritual. That was what many people believe. So as an extrovert, I'll go to fellowship on campus and people say you talk too much. So I began to pray, God, let me keep quiet. But you see, that's not the power I've been given. The power I've been given is the power to be an extrovert, to talk, to make sense, right? But people believe that spiritual people are the quiet person. In fact, at some point, let me confess to you, I thought people with gap tooth were more spiritual because they kept quiet. But you see, some of those people we have stuff in their mind that they can't externalize. That is who they are. I cannot try to be who I am not. So you see people try to sound like their mentor, try to behave and dress like their mentor. You are not you are becoming a clone. You are losing yourself. Be original. They may not like you. You like dreadlocks, wear dreadlocks, ankle chain, wear ankle chain. People may not like you, but that's what gives you satisfaction. That is who you are, right? When people say, I believe you or I need you, they don't have a clue about you. They have no forget idea about you because they cannot accommodate the real you. What they can accommodate is the real you that they are put in a box and the you that you are showing to them, right? I was running a class last week on writing your user's manual for singles who want to get married. And we got to a point. I asked them, what are your fantasies? Write it in your user's manual. And so people began to write, that I would love to have sex every day when I get married, right? Some ladies put it, I love to kiss so much, I can't afford to have it. But these are conversations people never have before they get married. So you have someone who has a fantasy that I'm going to have sex every day, is forced to get married to the next available person who doesn't like sex, and they begin to patch it up, right, for the rest of their lives. People are in pain because they have sacrificed the common sense, their originality for what someone else is teaching them, right? Many of the people whose permission you are looking for don't really care about you, right? Now, W in the know is work on yourself and wow yourself, become the best version of yourself, right? I love to give this example because I see a lot of people, they want to do things, but they are waiting for endorsement from the people they respect. Let me tell you, if you wait, you're going to wait till forever, right? You need to trust yourself, trust your God, go ahead, make it happen. If you make a mistake, you will fail forward, right? You are better than someone who never made the first move. I have seen people, right, who have an idea, they kept it, then all of a sudden, they realize that someone else has activated the idea, right? And they begin to say, he stole my idea. Nobody stole your idea. Let me shock you. There is nothing you are thinking in your mind that you are the only one who is thinking about it across the globe. As you are thinking it, a guy in Japan, because God must not be frustrated, his ideas must be perfect, and he will not allow you to frustrate his idea. So what I say to people is that God puts ideas on a frequency. He responds to the fastest finger, right? So the first guy to move with the idea is called first mover's advantage. The fastest finger is the person who owns it. So the guy who runs with the idea becomes the owner of the idea. You now wonder, he stole my idea. He did not steal your idea. You only assume that you are so special, that you are the only one that God is speaking to. So you want to frustrate God's agenda. God needed the invention out immediately, but you have stored it, you are warehousing it, you are keeping it. I don't want people to steal my destiny. People will just say all kinds of funny things. Somebody will want to steal my glory. What glory? The glory, they are using your glory. What glory? If you can't use your glory, then let other people use it, right? So work on yourself, wow yourself. What must you not do? Don't deny and deprive the world of your truth, of your fruit. Don't deny and deprive the world of your fruit. Don't give excuses, right? Failure plus explanation is not equal to success. Failure plus explanation is not equal to success. And don't say no to growth opportunities. Every opportunity for you to grow, please maximize it. Become the best version of yourself. And why? Never yield to pressure. Never yield to pressure. Never yield to pressure. So guys, today, what do you like about yourself? What are those things you don't like about yourself? Are there parts of you that affect your self-esteem right now? Why are you in the organization you work for, right? What you need to do for me today, right? Find a quiet place. Begin to look at yourself from your head to your toe and begin to value and appreciate yourself. If there is no hindrance, who will you become? And you need to cast out the demons in your life. Let me define a demon to you. You have not had this definition before. A demon is a spirit, a person, an ideology, a system that suppresses your originality, that strikes fear into you, making you to say yes when you meant to say no. I'll take it again. A demon is a spirit, a person, an ideology, a system that suppresses your originality, that strikes fear into you, forcing you or making you to say yes when you meant to say no. So anybody who fits that definition in your life, you need to find a way to cast them out, right? If it's your spouse, you need to ask God for grace, right? Because anybody who suppresses your originality, who strikes fear into you, who is making you to say yes when you meant to say no, is a demon in your life. You need to cast them out. So don't be looking for some witch in the village, right? The demon is around you. Some of you love your demons, right? So you need to cast out those demons and become the authentic version of yourself. Some of you right now, God is looking for you. God can't find you, right? Because you have lost yourself in other people. You sound like your mentor today. You sound like Lagbaja tomorrow. You behave like your parent today. You behave like the next person. No, when are you going to live your life? See, none of us can live to 300. Life is short. So why will you stop being yourself? Why will you deny yourself of you? Guys, it's another day to become the authentic version of yourself. Make your mistakes. Tell God about your mistake. He's willing to forgive you. Learn from your mistakes. The area of your struggle, find someone who believes in you that you can confide in. Don't allow people put you under some form of rules and regulation that is not even in any holy book and that has messed up a lot of people. You must not lose yourself. The world needs you. You are not perfect, so don't even try to be perfect, right? But try to ensure that your art is perfect. I do not expect perfection from imperfect people because there are so many flaws in my life. But in spite of my flaws, I keep going. If you catch hell, don't hold it. If you're going through hell, don't stop. Go ahead and become the best version of yourself. Thank you very much for joining me this morning. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 3 a.m. PF Things. If you have missed the previous episode, we've done 21 before now. You can go on my YouTube page, PF Live, and subscribe. And I have a class on Friday. It's a master class on the webinar. Is titled, post-COVID family system. I'm going to be sharing with you what is going to happen, right? And I'm going to share with you how to position yourself to maximize your family, because family, as it stands right now, is no longer going to work. You need to migrate your family to become a tribe. There are processes to make that happen. Don't miss the session on Friday. If you get on my bio, you would see how to register. There, the flyers are there, right? Make sure you register. Get your friends in. Trust me, your life is not going to remain the same. The link will only be available during the session. After the session, we're going to move it out, right? And people will need to pay for it. But it's free on Friday. I look forward to seeing you. I'll see you tomorrow. Please, today, become the best version of yourself. Be free, be you, be brilliant, excel, right? And be authentic for one. Trash every rules that has held you down. Uninstall your self-sabotaging pattern. People may not like it, but you know that now I have found the best version of me and I want to live once and for all. Thank you very much. God bless you. I love you. Someone is asking, what's my YouTube channel? Praise for Well Live. Praise for Well Live. That is it. Essay is asking, what time is the webinar on Friday? It's 8 p.m. 8 p.m. West African time, 7 p.m. GMT, 2 p.m. CAT, that's America. South Africa, I think it's about 7 or 9 p.m. or something like that, right? I love you guys. Thank you. My Instagram audience, my Facebook audience. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 3 a.m. We do this every day. Bye-bye. Have a fantastic day.